Halo teman-teman bola.com, balik lagi bersama saya Heri Kurniawan, jurnalis sayangan Anda. Kini kita ngobrol-ngobrol dengan sosok yang cukup jauh dari kita, yaitu pemain timnas Filipina, Javier Mariona. Hi Javier, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm very happy that you take the time to ask me to be part of this interview, and always happy to talk about anything football related.
Okay, Javier, my first question is, how's life today in California, right? You're in California?
Yes, so I'm in Southern California right now. My club that I currently play for is in SoCal. I'm from San Francisco, so I'm from Northern California, about a 5-hour drive or so. So life is good. It's very hot where I'm from. It's the start of the desert, so it's very dry heat. You step outside, your skin is burning right away, but it's okay. I'm very happy to be part of the club I'm playing for right now, and it's a good time. Thank you for asking. It's good.
So you're born and raised in California?
I'm born and raised in California to a Salvadorian dad and a Filipina mom.
Oh,
Born and
okay.
raised in San Francisco, and
Mm.
it's always been football since I was born. Always been about sports, specifically football. My grandpa played a little bit of football back in El Salvador, and my mom played tennis. So I took the route of football, and my mom gave the route of tennis to my little sister. So
Oh, your sister play tennis professionally?
play tennis.
No.
Not professional, but she has ambitions to play high-level college soon.
Okay. So I think you have a Salvadorian dad and Filipino mom. You can play for, I think, 3 national team, U.S.,
Correct.
Salvador, and Filipino. And then why you choose Filipino?
Correct. So
Hmm.
growing up in my household, the conversation was always about my grandpa. So my grandpa played a lot in El Salvador. He was a very high-profile player. Played World Cup, captained the nation the first time they made it to the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. The first time they had
Okay.
ever been part of the tournament. He was a captain, so it was always talked about our house. Hey, football. He has very high expectations, so maybe you could follow in the footsteps. And I knew my dream and my goal in the sport was to follow in his footsteps and get as far along as my career can go. And I thought when the Philippines national team had reached out to me, it was a good pathway for me to do so. Because I know whether I play U.S., El Salvador, or the Philippines national team, I'm going to give 120%, no matter where I am. I know I will leave my whole heart out on the field. And with that, it was the opportunity came up the Philippines say, hey, we're ready to have you be part of our system. Are you up for it? And I said, I looked into what could be the potential plan and where it could lead me. And I said, yeah, I'd love to be part of this. So that's how I got the opportunity and how I ended up playing for the Philippines national team.
So the process. Tell me the process you joining Philippine national team. Is there any person from the federation call you before?
Yes. So on Instagram, this was last year, this was the summer of 2023, about exactly a year ago. I had received an Instagram DM from Freddie Gonzalez, the technical director at the
Okay.
time.
Yeah. I know
He
him.
had messaged me saying, hey, Javier Mañana, we see that your professional career has been going okay. We'd like to hop on the phone and see if you're interested in representing the Philippines. Because by that time, I had already represented the U19 and the under-20s for El Salvador, their youth national
Okay.
team. And he said, hey, would you like to hop on the phone with our head coach now and myself? And I said, sure, let's have my mom hop on the phone. Obviously, my mom is a Filipina, so we'll have the discussion collectively. We had the discussion. It went very well. Again, my parents and I sat down on a conversation and said, hey, we're going to support you no matter what your decision is. And we know that you're going to go and give your whole heart, your whole passion for whatever country you play for. So let's make it happen. And after that, it was messaging back Freddie saying, hey, let's make this happen. As soon as my season was done, because I was playing in a small town last year, it was Fresno. So in California, that's in the middle of California. And the the Filipino embassies are Northern California, where I'm from, or Southern
Yeah.
California, which is both about 3 hours away. So I was in the middle. So I had to wait till my season was over with my club last year till I could finally go to the embassy, start the process, get my passport, and then be, of course, in consideration for a call up for the Philippines. So that was a
Okay.
process. Finally got it done. And then Tom, who was a head coach who I initially had a conversation with, had no longer had the job as head coach for the Philippines men's national team. And Albert, who was my head coach for the Mitsubishi Cup, had reached out and said, "Hey, I have your profile. I'd love to bring you in and see what you're like." And then from there, that started my career with the Philippines national team.
Okay. Okay. As a person who born and raised in United States, but you have Filipino blood, tell me the moment when you made your first appearance for Philippine national team. How's the feeling?
It's so surreal because I think sometimes in life you don't think things are going to come as fast as they were. I was playing again third division in the US, and a lot of my teammates do play international football, but it just happened so fast. I got the message, I got the passport done, I ended
Mm.
up in the Philippines, and I'm playing Myanmar at home in front of a good crowd representing my nation. So it was surreal nonetheless. As soon as I stepped on the field, I think we were tied 1-1, or it was, I think, 1-0, but I had a smile on my face because it was a very proud moment for my family and I knew I had just stepped foot into an environment where I always remember only 1% of 1% of players go professional football, and then on top of that, 1% play international football. So for me to step out there at the young sweet age of 20 years old, representing my country, it was an amazing moment that I'll never forget. And I was thankful with my debut. We actually ended up coming back to tie 1-1 against Myanmar, and
Mm.
it wasn't a loss. So I was happy nonetheless for that.
Is that a friendly game or Mitsubishi Cup?
Mitsubishi Cup, the first game of the Mitsubishi Cup.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
I think you guys in the same group with us, Indonesia, right?
Yes, yes.
And
That
we
first game
play,
against that was
yeah,
my second start for the senior men's national team when we play in Shurikarta, or how do you
yes,
Shurikarta,
Surakarta, yeah.
Shurikarta. And
Mm.
man, that environment that I played in, that was the first time in my career where I played in front of such passionate fans, fans who I could feel their love for the national
Mm.
team and for the country from the outside the stands. I remember even
Mm.
before warm up, majority of the stadium was full, and in my career, I had never seen that before. It was unbelievable. I remember it was so loud because Shurikarta, the stadium is built like a dome. It
Yeah.
holds a good amount of the sound in. So at some point during the game, I felt like the stadium was shaking, and it was so cool. It was such a cool feeling. Coming from the U.S., where sometimes in the third division or second division, you'd get bigger crowds where it's 6, 7,000, 5,000. But
Mm.
I believe that game had 18, 19,000. So again, not a huge amount difference, but the fans were just unreal. Just the amount of noise they were making, every single play that was a close shot or goal. And again, it felt like the stadium was vibrating every single play. It was a very cool experience.
Oh, did you get nervous before you entered the pitch? No.
A little bit, but I keep trying to remind myself that a lot of people would love to be in your spot. So appreciate the moment as much as you can, Just go out there and try and have fun. Because of course, representing your country against another national team who is very strong is going to
Mm.
bring a lot of pressure. But then I always try and remind myself pressure is a good thing. Pressure is a privilege because I'm sure a lot of people around the world would love to be in your position. They would love to be in your seat right now. So just go out there and try and do your best and appreciate the moment you're in.
Yeah. I remember about that match. Our national teams use so many young players.
Hmm, hmm.
And you guys can beat us. I think 1-0, right?
Yes, yes. Penalty, penalty.
In all of the supporters and everything, you can beat us. Tell me about the match, please.
It was a tough game. It was a tough game. We know that even though you guys bring out a younger squad, Indonesia always has some good quality, but we did come up with a good plan. So as long as we stuck by the plan, our coach said that we'd be able to hopefully get a good result. And again, that was the first match of the tournament where we had played in front of big fans. And we had to just go out there and say, we have to believe and trust in the coach's plans. And I think we did that well. I think we did that well. We got caught a couple times in the first half where there was a couple good sequences, a lot of good passes that Indonesia put together, got in behind, and we almost conceded. But it was a big point of the game where you guys got the red card in the first half. That
Yeah, yeah.
completely changed the game. It was a set piece, I believe, a corner. One of your players had hit one of our defenders, and it was a red card, straight red. So, of
Mhm.
course, that changes the whole game. The plans that Indonesia had and we have, it completely changes. So
Mm.
maybe if no red card, the game would have been differently. And but again, we got the penalty in the second half from a handball, I believe it was. We tucked it away, and we did have a good defensive display, even though again, you guys were coming on top of us, and we did get a couple counterattacks that maybe we could have taken more advantage of, but it was very much like after we scored, you could feel that you guys are on top of us, you know?
Yeah, I can remember. I think I cannot count how many throw-ins that we throw
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
to your
exactly.
defense from our
Exactly. At
from
halftime, the
our player.
conversation with our coach is like, hey, be prepared. Whatever you do, throw in. We cannot concede on set piece. Make sure that there's one guy standing in front of the thrower and make sure
Mm.
everybody in the box, make sure not a single Indonesian player headed the ball, you know? And again, every single time they throw it, you would know because the whole stadium is, woof, you know?
So you guys studied about the throw-in before our throw-in, especially number 12, Pratama
Yeah,
Arhan.
you know, even with imagine even now with the U23s, we concede like that. You know, they're our own goal again, throw-ins. You know, and that's something that we actually try and bring into our national team with a couple of our guys, where we realize that they have a good throw. So we said,
Mm.
hey, similar to them, let's take this and use it to our advantage, and that's how we ended up scoring that one goal against Vietnam in the semifinals. You know, throw in, bounce around a little bit, and second ball we score. So we knew that
Mm.
we saw them use it, and why not? Like, hey, we can try and use it as well. Almost, you know.
Amen. Actually, I remember one player from Philippine national team who can throw properly. Maybe
Mm.
you know Anton Del Rosario.
Yes, 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 yes.
He's very good at long throw.
Hmm. I know. I don't know where the strength come from. He must be doing it at the gym or something because he could throw it far.
He's very
You know,
big.
he
Yeah.
he does a 20 kg with it like this, boom, boom. You know, almost. Yeah.
Okay, let's move to another questions. And I believe your second visit to Indonesia is last month, right?
Correct.
ASEAN under 23, and I see you in press conference room or in mix zone in stadium. And actually, you guys in Cikini, right? Hotels.
Yes, yes.
It's very close to our office.
Correct. Oh,
Uh,
really?
Around 1 or 2 kilometers away only.
Oh, wow. So nearby,
Yeah.
very nearby.
And as you know, Philippines have a very good tournament. You guys came up as semifinalists, and then fourth position, right?
Mhm.
How's the tournament's meaning for you as a Philippine national player?
You know, I do think it's a step in the right direction. The Philippines,
Mm.
we have big ambitions, you know, and we understand that we might be, in terms of footballing culture, a little behind countries like, you know, Thailand, yourself, Indonesia, and Vietnam, for example. And the culture isn't there like you guys. So we know that we want to be part of the process to taking the steps in the right direction. So for us to get out of a group where people didn't see us going through, it was, you know, people saying, hey, it's going to be Malaysia and Indonesia.
Mm.
And for us to get out of the group when I think a lot of outlets, and again, we try not to indulge into it too much, but people say, hey, you know, like Malaysia and Indonesia are going to go through, Philippines, no chance. So for us to make it through, even though all the talk was against us, it was a great feeling and we were very proud. And of course, it was a moment for us to say, we are very blessed in this moment. We made history, but we still want to do more. So when we lost against Vietnam, we were all heartbroken because we really did believe that we
Mm.
even could accomplish more. But it's okay. It steps in the right direction again. That's the first time for the under 23s we had ever made it up the group stage. So a positive in that point. And I will say Vietnam is a great national team. They definitely brought it to us, but it was only a 2-1 match, you know? So it's definitely bright spots and things to look forward to with the national team.
Yeah, it's very close match, and
Hmm.
and and when you play against us Indonesia, you
Hmm.
only lose 1-0 with own
Hmm.
goal from
Hmm. Hmm.
game throw-in
Hmm.
situation. So, what do you think about the game against Indonesia in the group stage?
It's always fun. You know, I always speak very highly of the culture in Indonesia. So I knew that out of all the games I'd be playing for the Mandiri Under 23 Cup, it would be Indonesia with the most fans. So I was looking forward to that. And Indonesia, similar to Vietnam, every player in the field is very good. They're all very technical. And it seems to me as if they're a team already. When I play international football, you know, a lot of the guys that you meet, it's lack of chemistry. You don't have the relationship with them just yet because, you know, you recently just met them. But sometimes when you play against Indonesia and Vietnam, it seems like these guys have known each other a very long time. They built a bond and the chemistry that makes it seem like they flow together, you know? So going out there, we knew it would be long spells of the game where they would have the ball, we would be running back and forth, and we'd have to try and defend for our lives. And again, there were a lot of scenarios where we defended very well, but of course, our goalkeeper, Nico Guimaraes, shout out to him. He had a great game, because
Yeah,
you guys had wonderful chances that I said it left his foot. I'm like, oh man, put my hands behind my head and pray that Nico does his job. And Nico did a believable job. That's why, and I believe it was deserved. He got the man of the match that game.
yeah. There are some players from Philippines that I really appreciate, especially you, the Guimaraes, the Otto play very good. Also, could you tell us about one or two moments that most memorable from the tournament, under 23 tournament?
I'd say that first goal, we scored the first goal of the campaign, and
Malaysia.
against Malaysia, that goal that I assist to O2, those first 10 minutes, we didn't have too much of the ball. We were chasing Malaysia, and they had a couple good sequences already. So I think in all of our heads, we kind of thought, ooh, this might be a long game. And then, of course, Noah Liddell, our center back, gets the ball, puts it over behind. And as soon as it leaves his foot, I know right away, it's going to get him behind. I better start running. I start running, and people like to say flow state. And it's very much, when I got to the ball, I didn't think, naturally, my body just did what it knew how to do. I did my skill. I saw O2, get it to O2. He taps it in for the finish. And that was a surreal moment. I remember in the stadium, there was no fans, of course, because, it's just Malaysia and Philippines. But we were all yelling. I could hear the bench. Every single one of our 11 players were just super hyped, super excited that we had scored in a game like that so early on. So that's definitely one of my favorite moments. And I'd say another second of my favorite moment would have to be my goal against Vietnam. Again, Vietnam, another powerhouse, I'd say. Very, very good. Collectively, they seem like they've been a team training months and months.
Yeah.
And when we had that set piece, the ball landed to me after a couple headers, and I finished. Again, it was just such a good feeling to try and help the team and go ahead in such an important game for us. And maybe that was the reason to why we conceded, because we were still running on that high, because we conceded so fast after, and we weren't sharp enough as we should have been. But in the moment of that goal, for me, was an unbelievable feeling. I was super excited. I started dancing, it just happened again. I started dancing. I didn't even plan to dance before the game. As soon as I scored the goal and I ran, I just said, my body started dancing. I didn't even think about it,
Yeah, because talking about Vietnam, I think they're most prepared team to face Mandiri under 23.
Yes.
Even for us as an Indonesian journalist, we say before tournament start, Vietnam is number one favorite to be champions, right? And they deserve it. They play very good, very compact in defense also, and they beat us in the final.
Yeah, so they're very defensively disciplined as well. But I think for me, what is very impressive is, for example, their head coach is the same head coach for the men's team. When I had played the men's in Mitsubishi Cup, they play the same way. It was the same method, the same tactics, the same formation. And it's so interesting to me that he was able to translate it so well to the U23s, and the U23s seemed like it was so natural to them. That was very impressive. And we actually, preparing for the game against Vietnam, we had watched back clips from my game with the men's team back in December against Vietnam, because we knew it was almost identical, So even trying to prepare in that sense was like, okay, hey, we've seen this before, but it's a very, very strong team and they do everything right. So how can we counter that?
Okay, let's move to another questions, Harvey. Okay, you tell me about your family. You're from Salvador and everything. Right now, I want to know about football or soccer as a general in United States. How is the development of soccer there? Especially you guys, I think next year will be host of World Cup. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think when talking about the culture here in the United States, it's still not the largest sport, but it's definitely played around, and you can tell. And people who are fully committed are great players. I think the system here is soon to be one of the best in the world, if not already one of the best in the world. I think we have the economy to support the football here. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into the system because there's some good things about the footballing system here and some bad things in the U.S. But nonetheless, we do create some very good players. That's without a doubt. And I think that's evident with our national team doing better and better. For example, the U.S. national team, when they played England in the World Cup, was a 0-0 draw. Now, I'm not saying they're better than England, but England is no joke of a national team as well, And MLS teams as well, some of them are getting a lot stronger. So the U.S. as a whole, I think, is on the trajectory to doing good things with the national team. And it all starts off with the youth. Everywhere in the U.S., there is starting to be football, and people are starting to introduce their kids into football more and more rather than let's go play basketball, let's go play American football. So that is going to have the pool for players to just go bigger and bigger. And I mean, there's so many academies across the United States that are just fully developing kids to try and be the best players they can, whether it's trying to go professional or the university or college route. And they all just know that the sport is growing and it has more opportunities.
Okay. Are you in California? You support LA Galaxy or LAFC?
I wouldn't say I support one or the other. LAFC is the stadium closer to me right now, so I'm about an hour away from LAFC. Southern California is huge, just to anybody watching in Indonesia. So imagine I'm in LA. Technically, I'm still in LA, and I'm still an hour away. It's so far. And and from Galaxy Stadium, I'm still super far as well. I'd say it just depends. Sometimes I like LA Galaxy. When Zlatan was at LA Galaxy, I was a fan of Zlatan. When LAFC, now that they have Human Son, that's also a fan of that, for example, right now. And I'd say maybe leaning more towards LAFC right now because they're very strong, and LA Galaxy started off a little bumpy in the beginning of the season.
So you watch the game weekly or to the stadium? You came to the stadium to watch the game?
I've been to a game once this season, but more just stay on the highlights and watch them on YouTube, for example.
Because a little bit far, right, from your home?
A little
stadium.
far.
A little far. Okay. Javi, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago in Indonesian League, there are more. I think so many Philippines players play here. We have Simen Lingbo, we have I know Daisuke Sato, and some other players. I have interviewed with Simen Lingbo also. He played for Kediri. He has very good experience playing in Indonesia. I want to know about you. Is there any option for you to play outside US, especially in Indonesia in the future?
Hey, if there's an opportunity for me to play in Southeast Asia or Indonesia specifically, someone better call me. That's all I gotta say. My phone is open. No, but thankfully enough, I'm very happy with the club I am right here. Of course, my goal is to continue to play higher and higher levels. And I do think the league in Indonesia, Thailand, for example, Vietnam are all very strong leagues that one day I could definitely see myself playing in without a single doubt. And again, what's so appealing to me is I know the footballing culture in a country, example like Indonesia, it's so strong, it's so prominent that again, all these teams in second division in Indonesia, you see the fans are a joke. They're so awesome. I mean, they live for the club. I mean, the stadium is full. They're all singing the whole time, waving their flags, doing the flair. I mean, that's for me one of the biggest motives of the sport, to know that I play for the fans, I play for the community who backs me up every day. So to play in front of big crowds like that is super, super appealing, and one day I'd love to do. And I know Indonesia is a place I can make that happen without a doubt.
Yeah, you can call me maybe one day.
Hey, yeah. No complaints if I go play in Indonesia.
Yeah, because like some traditional team like Jakarta or Bandung or Surabaya, they have a very big stadium. Jakarta, they have 82,000 stadium capacity. So
no, they have the I don't know, I think it's called the International Stadium, the orange one though.
Yeah,
the one where
that's 82,000. Yeah.
Hey, that one, if your men's team play there, full, no problem, full. Imagine that environment to play in. That's I think Persija plays there. No,
Persija
plays there. Even with Persija playing, it's almost full. Like how cool is that? And 82,000 people, wow, that's insane. That's my goal. I would love to play in front of a big crowd. And again, like I said, I know Indonesia is one place that can happen, you know.
You know Persija, but did you follow Indonesian football? Did you
A little
follow?
bit. And every time I travel to Southeast Asia, they always tell me a little things about going on and the Indonesia League or T1, for example, or T2. So I'll do a little bit, yes.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So, do you have any friends in Indonesian national team right now?
I wouldn't say friends, but I will say, of course, in the moment of the game, everybody's enemies, everyone's trying their hardest for their own nation, but it's very easy to get along with all the guys on the Indonesian national team. They're all friendly guys. They all mean well at the end of the day, and they're all good people by heart, and you could tell before and after the game. But of course, in the 90 minutes, we're trying to take each other out. That's just how the game is,
Okay, Javi, let's move to another questions. Philippine national team, the men's national team changed the coach, right? I think I forgot the name. Who's the name? The coach
The new coach?
right now?
Carlo.
Yeah.
Carlo.
Oh, Carlo for Spanish, right? Spanish. He's
Spanish, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Spanish.
So, how do you see the future of national team? Especially you are right now young and you can be the main man in the Philippine national team in the future.
No, of course, I don't think my goal is to be the main man, but my goal is to try and help out the national team in any way, in any form possible. So if I'm in his plans in the near future to have a very prominent role, I'd be very thankful. And I try my best without a doubt. And I know that the pool of the Philippines men's national team is only getting bigger and better. And that's something that I'm very prideful about. And I want our national team to do as best as possible because, of course, I'd love for the AFC qualifiers to go our way, and we do qualify because that would be only the second time we'd appear in the tournament. And I do believe we have the squad to make that history happen again. And again, if I can be part of the group, that would be ideal. And I'd love to help the group as much as I can. And let's see. Only the future knows. But I know that I had a good role with under 23s.
Okay.
And of course, I don't know where my future will be for the next couple games and who I'll be helping out. But no matter what, wherever I'm going to be, I know I'm going to try my best and give 120%, no doubt. Harry, I see that your picture for your Google account is you playing goalkeeper. Are you a good goalkeeper? Are you a good goalkeeper? Yeah, are you like Nico Guimaraes?
Yes, we can try, but I'm not really good because I want to be goalkeeper because I don't want to run a lot.
You don't
So
want to
I
run
just wait for the ball.
Yeah. Nice.
But we
We'll
play
have-
regularly here, journalists in Jakarta. We play regularly, maybe one or twice a month.
Oh, nice. Okay, one day
Yeah.
if I'm there in Jakarta and I'm free, I'll go play with you guys too.
Yes, please.
Perfect. We make it
We
happen.
try some good pitch in.
There we go. I will be there. But you asked me about my hair, no?
Yeah.
So I just took out the braids. I actually got them redone during my time in the Mandiri Cup in Jakarta. I messaged somebody on Instagram and I asked them, hey, are you able to redo my hair? It's starting to come out a little bit. And they said yes. And I really like that profile that, of course, I don't know her name, but I know a vlogger or I believe a content creator in Indonesia. She made a video and it went pretty popular of her calling me Darwin Nunez. So I found that funny. I like that people were calling me Darwin Nunez. I like that people were calling me the Filipino Rafinha. That was fun,
Yeah,
that was
Rafinha,
nice.
yeah.
Rafinha. So I found that quite nice and it stuck along. So Rafinha is not a bad player to be compared to too, He's about to win the ball in there, I think. So not that bad to be, affiliated with.
Okay. Yeah,
Next time I go to Southeast Asia or Asia, I'll do the braids again.
more like
because
Rafinha.
I like
than
that as
Nunez.
more Rafinha than Nunez. But the next time I travel to Asia again, I believe I'll probably do that again. And I want it to be almost a staple for me, and people can associate the braids with Rafinha, the Filipino Rafinha.
Okay, Javi. I think that sums up our interview today.
But again, thank you, Harry, so much for taking the time to interview me. And I'm sorry again about the technical issues and me coming a little late.
It's okay. Thank you for your time. And
No, thank you again. Thank you. I always love doing interviews. If you'd love to do one in the future, hopefully with better Wi-Fi, let me know.
Oke, itu tadi teman-teman. Ngobrol kita yang lumayan panjang dengan Javier Mariona. Saksikan terus konten-konten lain dari bola.com. Bye-bye.
Harry, thank you so much. Okay, take care.